Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. We are back in an aircraft carrier, and I think I like this one. I am having an unexpected amount of fun in German aircraft carriers. And this is the Tier 8. Now, I was somewhat apprehensive because generally playing at Tier 8, unless I'm in the Indomitable, which is like the most noob-friendly carrier you can possibly have, I wasn't too confident. But it turns out this ship and me, we work together. We're both kind of crap, but we're making the best of it, and we're compensating for it by just sheer audacity. So this is the August von Parseval, the Tier 8 German aircraft carrier. Now, this is a tech tree ship, but the tech tree is obviously not out yet. Now, I was wondering if this was based off the Flugzeugträger 1 of Aircraft Carrier 1 design from the 1940s, not the one from 1915, because they just started over, which was supposed to be a conversion of the SS Europa, of a I think it was a transport ship. But the in-game details are claiming that this is a draft design that was of the Graf Zeppelin class, and that was a purpose-built, not a conversion one. So I'm not 100% certain if that's what that means, but August von Parseval was actually a Zeppelin, or well, an airship designer. Not the Zeppelins, obviously, because that was a different one. Yeah, he was actually an airship designer and worked with the British at some points to create blimps and other things. So somewhat fitting. Now, it says it uses a different armament than the Graf Zeppelin. And if we actually compare it to the Graf Zeppelin, they do look kind of similar. So maybe it really was just meant to be a design that is based off the Graf Zeppelin, because even the superstructure is quite similar. But let's have a look at the statistics quickly. And we are actually going to compare. No, that's the completely wrong set. That's from the previous video. Excuse me, well, I'll be right back. While I am... Just give me Tier 8 aircraft carriers in general. Okay, I want the Lexington, which is the it's the Constellation, but as an aircraft carrier, sort of. Well, it's not. It's the actual Lexington, but you know what I mean. And maybe the Brits as well. And we get the Shokaku too. Okay, now we got all 4 of them. All right, there we go. And then we can do that again. All right, and now we're looking at the right ship. Okay, here we go. Let's compare to the Lexington. And the first thing that you'll notice is that the August von Parseval actually has ship skills. So we have the secondary overload that we already had in the second, in the previous tier, in Tier 6, I think. But she also gets a defensive AA2. Normally carriers don't get ship skills. So this is quite unusual. And this literally just doubles your AA. She also gets still the same thing, the AP bombs, so overpenetration on destroyers. Somebody pointed out in the comments that overpenetrations on destroyers should actually cause floods. I like that, or in general, overpenetrations should cause floods with armor-piercing bombs. That makes sense, right? Because you're not shooting from the side, you're dropping them from the top. But, you know, maybe they fall down at an angle and, you know, then just punch through the superstructure or something. Anyway. And we have the auto-secondaries as previously. Now, why am I comparing her to the Lexington? Well, because the Lexington started out as a battle cruiser. And I would just like to draw your attention to the fact that the August von Parseval is better armored than the Lexington. She doesn't quite have as many hit points, and not as good of a fire and flooding resistance, which can get a little annoying, especially if you're up against enemy aircraft carriers. But this is a sturdy ship. She is also not quite as fast as the Lexington, but quite a bit more maneuverable. She doesn't have any guns, like the Lexington does, because, well, there aren't any. But she gets the auto secondaries, and these are still 105mm auto secondaries, so the dual-purpose AA and other defense guns. They don't do an awful lot of damage, because first of all, they're only 105mm, they only have 200 points of base damage, but they have a 4-second reload, you get 12 of them, and they have over 7 kilometer base range. They have more range than the 127mm guns on the Lexington. When it comes to the dive bombers, I am mildly disappointed because the 1940s German aircraft carriers should have gotten the Stukas, but we're getting something else here. And if we compare that to the Lexington, we see that we're not quite doing as much. We're not quite having as much hit points, and we're not as much bomb damage. We have slightly more hit points, but it's marginal. It's not a huge difference. It's like 30 hit points or something. And obviously, we can't set fires. Now we do get 2 squadrons of these for a total of 8, whereas the Lexi only gets 1 of 5. So that's a good start. We get torpedo bombers, same setup, same size, but the torpedoes are in almost all regards worse than the torpedo bombers on the Lexington, except one, and that's very important: the torpedo speed. Because if you're like me and you struggle with actually getting your torpedoes to hit targets, these 10 knots extra speed on the torpedoes make all the difference. Because you can drop from further away, you can, and if you not aim your drop perfectly, you still get more torpedoes on target than you would in a carrier that has slower torpedoes. So that is a huge benefit. The fighters, at least that's accurate. These are the Bf-109s, the Messerschmitts. We actually get 2 squadrons of 3 each, but they're a bit crap. In fact, I think they're the worst fighters in Tier 8, so, which is a bit unfair. The Bf-109 wasn't a terrible plane, but that is the Bf-109T, the Träger or carrier variant, that was, I think, actually planned, or I'm not sure if it was developed. Now, in terms of AA, the base values, at least on the large caliber, isn't all that grand. But the small caliber has a 2.4 kilometer range and a 273 base damage. And you've got a defensive AA. Once the defensive AA is up, you have the best AA in Tier 8 carriers. The surface detection is comparable. Now, let's do a very, very quick comparison with the Implacable, because I want to make sure that my statement about these being the worst fighters is correct. So are my fighters any better than the Implacable's fighters? No, they are worse. Are my fighters any better than the Shokaku's fighters? Let's have a very quick look. I mean, the Japanese carriers, I think, are not known for their excellent fighters, but even the Shokaku has better fighters than I do. So, what gives? Well, here's the thing, right? You're in an aircraft carrier that doesn't have the greatest aircraft in the game. You can't set any fires. You're not going to do damage over time. Your torpedo bombers are pretty decent, and you only got 1 squadron to work with, which makes it less confusing. You're not going to break damage records in this thing, but that's not the point. The point is that you don't have to. The point is that you don't need good fighters, and it took me a while to realize that. It doesn't matter. The fighters are just there to distract the enemy carrier and give them something to look at while you focus on using your ship. And that is, in essence, why I'm getting along with this thing. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's start to look at the setup. You can get the preparation time down, and there's something you could do. But I've gone with the mysterious dive bomber attack range reduction, because I think maybe it makes them a bit more precise. So my understanding would be they get closer before they drop. So hopefully their whatever reticule oblong circle thing that they have for aiming, or where within which the dispersion happens, is a little bit smaller. And given that these are armor-piercing bombs, and they often don't do an awful lot of damage to begin with, it's good to get them all on target. And I have 2 wings of these, and they don't need any hand-holding. So that's good. I have for the longest time played with the fighter modification until I realized that, well, it's actually pointless, because my fighters are garbage. And my fighters are not there to do anything useful. I mean, I try to bait fighters, but honestly, other people are better at it than me. So I tend not to bother. They're just there to distract the enemy carrier and distract his fighters. And while he's busy shooting my fighters down, my dive bombers are unmolested. So I actually switched to the hunger modification to get myself more fighters to throw away. But more importantly, more dive bombers and more torpedo bombers. Because the planes are a bit crap on this thing. They're not great. The rest is a pure AA build, and there's method to the madness, because while you be, once again, tempted to think, hey, with a decent mobility, heavy armor for a carrier, and why don't you build it more like for like propulsion and steering? Or why don't you build it for concealment, right? You could build it for concealment. Or you could try to use the deck protection mod, you know, so you're not always getting triple permafires from every single time an American dive bomber drops you. Yes, you could do all these things. But that's not how you're successful with this carrier. This is not a carrier for people who like to sit at the map border and use their planes. The planes are kind of an afterthought. Well, they're not. I mean, they're great, but especially the dive bombers can be fun, and torpedo bombers aren't bad. But it's not about the planes. It's about the ship. Okay, I'm getting once again way too excited here. So let's finish the setup very quickly. I have put a level 9 commander actually in here, so you definitely want the return speed. You, in my opinion, do want the battlefield support for the extra AA defense, and you also want the air defense expert. Dogfight specialist kind of makes sense. You know, you give your fighters a fighting chance, you could say. Sorry, I see myself out. You most definitely want the extinguisher, because you're going to be on fire always. And the close quarters combat expert is much recommended for the auto secondaries. The dauntless dive would make sense, obviously, and the citadel strike as well, because you would do additional citadel damage, and it's actually a much better modifier with the 12.5% for the dive bombers. So these would be good skills to have going there. You can put a historical camo on the ship for additional hit points, more bomb damage, more torpedo damage, and better surface detection. Although the first surface detection doesn't matter. Why does the surface detection not matter? Because if you're playing the ship outside enemy surface detection, you're playing it wrong, in my opinion. This is a ship that needs to... This is a brawling carrier. In my opinion, that is the correct way of playing this thing. Now, how can you brawl with a ship where you don't have any guns on it? Well, you do. And they're auto secondaries. Remember that you'd say like, oh, why doesn't it have the 150mm? Yes, I would love to have had the 150mm, but we don't get them. The thing with the auto secondaries is they're automatic, which means they can shoot on both sides at the same time. This is not something you can do when you're with manual guns, because you can only ever shoot at one side at the same time, and then you need to switch and then get the guns aligned on the other side and then shoot with the other set. Auto secondaries don't have that problem. They can both happily shoot in both directions. So don't underestimate these guns. Anyway, for now what we're going to do is we're going to put the Seaborne Assault camo on, just for a bit more hit points, and then we're going to go and get ourselves into some trouble. In the first game, we're up against a Black Shokaku, Roma, okay, Gneisenau, Colorado, Brooklyn, Tashkent, and Skåne. The dive bombers, while they are really, really good against cruisers and carriers, they're sort of okay against battleships, and they suck against destroyers. You only have one torpedo squadron, and the torpedo spread of these 5 planes is actually rather broad, so you're never going to get more than 3, maybe at best 4 torpedoes on target against the destroyer, and that's if you can actually hit them. But like I said, they're pretty quick. So first things first, we're going to start moving forward, and then we're going to start getting our planes out there. I tend to, I don't know if this is a valid thing to do, but I tend to leave one at home and try to sort of bait the enemy fighters with the other one. Let's see if we manage to actually capture them, and they're coming my way, would be nice. And then we're going to start sending the dive bombers out and doing the actual scouting, because then you don't have to manage 2 fighter squadron. But again, don't be too concerned if you if you lose your fighters. It's fine, you don't need them. Okay, so is he coming my way? Okay, defensive AA up, and poof goes the AA. There we go. Okay, can somebody go and capture B? Otherwise I'll do it myself. Okay, I'm flooding. Shokaku's trying to kill me. Never mind. What's that? Roma and Brooklyn. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's go for it. Brooklyn first. Brooklyn does have decent AA, but it's not going to help him very much. Okay, can you people please get into the capture circle? Otherwise, I'll do it myself. Brooklyn, what are you doing here? Okay, well, that's 5 torps on target against the Brooklyn. Okay, I'll tank for you, don't worry about it. There's also Skåne, not super afraid of Skåne. Yeah, let's go capture B. What are you people all waiting for? Okay, let's kill the Brooklyn. Roma is obviously a bit of a problem, but it's fine. We set some. I don't know what happened to my fighters in the meantime. I think they're still bimbling about back there, so we probably should be doing something useful with them, like flying down there and doing something about these enemy fighters or something, so we don't lose all our planes. And Brooklyn, yeah, let's kill the Brooklyn and do something. I mean, Roma is shooting at me, I think. Is he? No, if he did, he missed. Okay, let's put some fighters over there. Yeah, I'm taking fire. Roma is, I think, shooting at me. But that's a dead Brooklyn. There's Tashkent. Okay, I just dropped my torpedoes to kill the Brooklyn. Now we go and head into the capture circle. And we do something about the Roma, and there's also the Shokaku. Nah, let's kill the Roma first. Roma is more dangerous at this point. I've got the AA to deal with the Shokaku. But you see, this is the thing, right? You can... you see that Amagi there, right? With an Amagi going up against the Roma, it would generally be a death sentence, especially if there's a carrier in play. But it's not just my fighters; it's also my AA that is helping out here. So we're gonna have to save ourselves an Amagi, I think. And meanwhile, just push the Roma back. It's about there-ish, probably. Yeah, good enough. Okay, fighters in there. Amagi is burning, but we've got more fighters. Oh, fighters got captured, I think. Yeah, it's fine. Don't need those anyway. We have to do more damage against the Roma. Okay, come on, give me my dive bombers back. Oh, he moved forward. WASD hacks. I call shenanigans on that. Anyway, that thing's got such a good torpedo protection that it's probably the dive bombers who are going to do more. All right, full speed ahead, and let's get ourselves in secondary range, because that's where the fun is happening. Torpedo drop against the dive bomber drop against the Roma doesn't do an awful lot, doesn't matter. Are we in secondary range? Not yet. We will see it once the secondary start opening up. But we shot something down, and we're going to try and see if we can save that Roma back there. Just send some fighters after the enemy planes while the Shokaku is busy, and just keep dropping stuff on the Roma. And my secondary is opening up, so secondary overload on for the faster reload. And I think, yeah, I took a nasty hit there from the side, but that Roma is dead. Killed by secondaries by a carrier. Alright, at this point, I think they're all shooting at me, but there's the Shokaku. Well, Shokaku dead, never mind. Who's next? Colorado, not a great target. Tashkent's always on the other side. Gneisenau. Gneisenau's a good target. Okay, let's shoot at, let's hit the Gneisenau. Well, because they're all still shooting at me. Well, obviously, if there's a carrier around that you can shoot at. So let's get an island between ourselves, because these battleships are going to keep shooting at me. So let's just keep going. Torpedo bombers out and see if we can do something about the Gneisenau. My fighters are dogfighting the enemy fighters still, but that doesn't matter anymore. The carrier is dead. So let's get the shots out at the Gneisenau. Is he going to run into the... Okay, Gneisenau takes out the Brooklyn, because Brooklyn broadsides the Gneisenau at 1 kilometer distance. That Nagato is going to have Tashkent problems in a second, and he doesn't even pay attention. So I can't one-shot the Tashkent with the torpedo bomber, so I might as well not bother. Oh, the Gneisenau actually did not turn. I thought he was going to turn. No, well, we would drop some on these. Yeah, Tashkent is just going to murder the Nagato. There's nothing I can do about that. But I think Tashkent's coming this way, so I'm going to have to go and run now. Because we're down to 3 versus 3, and we are leading on points, but just about. So let's see what we can do here. Where's that Tashkent gone? There he is. Okay, now here comes a bit of the problem. And yeah, I need to turn right, actually, and secondary overload up again. Here comes a bit of a problem, because the dive bombers don't do an awful lot, really, against the Tashkent, so we might as well not bother. We get our double fire, insta-fire from the Tashkent. That's the problem. This thing doesn't have any fire resistance, as typical for German ships. But get him to chase me. And we'll try to get some torpedoes on target, maybe, if we're lucky. Okay, dive bombers need to go out. We get some lucky hits, maybe. Okay, yeah, 3 torpedo hits on the Tashkent, but he is coming relatively close. I can't remember what the torpedo range on the Tashkent is. It's not much because it's a Soviet destroyer. The Tashkent is actually not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that the bugger keeps me spotted. And I'm getting probably shot at from all these battleships back there, because there's still a Colorado bug out there. And again, double fire from the Tashkent. You lucky bastard. Alright, now I get another torpedo drop, but there come the shots in from the Colorado. That hit. And that hit hurt, but we are ahead on points, and I think, yeah, they've lost something as well. So even if I go down, because as long as Amagi survives back there and the Scorner, okay, let's see if we can still get some drops of torpedoes onto the Tashkent. Oh, that's the Gneisenau. I thought this was the Colorado still. No, it's the Gneisenau that's been shooting at me this whole time. We still got 1 torpedo hit on the Tashkent, but all they have to do. Okay, Scorner and Amagi, you need to survive. All you need to do is survive for another 16 seconds. Okay, it's not the Scorner, it's the Asashio. Sorry, Asashio. Don't shoot your guns. Run. Just run. Okay, Amagi takes out the Gneisenau. And Asashio is firing. Okay, it doesn't matter anymore. The Gneisenau is dead because he's taken a lot of damage. Asashio is on 151 points, but Tashkent would have to kill both of them. And that, my friends, is why you sail into B-Cup to save yourself an Amagi, because these things come in useful at the end of the battle. And you know, we haven't done the greatest amount of damage, but first of all, we got the clear skies, and you will get clear skies in this ship, honestly, because not from your fighters, but if you use the ship itself. Oh, it's hilarious. Let's do it again. The second battle is domination on haunted seas. We're up against an Enterprise, which, is that an overpowered premium? I'm not sure. I think somebody told me that all premium carrier is overpowered, but I don't know. Enterprise, Vanguard, Bismarck, King George, and Isis. So there is gonna be a crap load of planes in the sky. Kagero and an Akka. And we are on haunted seas, so off we go. So yeah, once again, aggressive playstyle. Use the ship. Use the AA. That's what it's for. That's what you have a defensive AA for. Screw the fighters. Nobody can manage 5 wings of planes at the same time anyway. Just put them somewhere. Let them distract the enemy fighters and then be done with it. I mean, if you're a skilled carrier player, right, and you know how to bait fighters and you can, you know, do really awesome stuff with them, yeah, by all means, go for it. Personally, I can't, and I can't be arsed. So I'm just sending them out there somewhere. And then, like I said, no, first fighter at home, second fighter just towards the enemy carrier. But if he's any good, he's going to bait these. And then, I'm trying. I think I was a bit too early here. Nah, never mind. That's good. That's as good as it gets. And we'll just, yeah, they're baited. I can see that already. That's fine. I didn't need those anyway. And then we are going to scout and see if we can find something with the dive bombers that is worth dropping bombs on. Nothing. Oh, there. Oh, it's Kagero. Okay. Drop the bombs on the Kagero. Yeah, of course. Triple fire. And we did a bomb hit on the Kagero. Yay! Told you the dive bombers were garbage. At least against destroyers. They're completely useless. But the torpedo bombers, not so much. So let's see if we can do something with the torpedo bombers. And yeah, I'm not sure if that was the easy, but somebody just dropped 6 planes on me. So torpedo drop against the Kagero. I think he's actually been slowing down, so I should have dropped that a little bit further back. But we still got some torpedo hits on. Okay, I've run into an island, and I'm actually probably within range of that Bismarck over there. So yeah, let's back off a little bit. Let's get fighters out there again. You know, just for where the enemy plane's actually going. I have no idea. Doesn't matter. There's a King George, dive bombers, and more dive bombers. Let's find that. Let's try and find that Kagero again and see if we can. Maybe we can shoot something down. You know, I never know. There's some unescorted dive bombers coming over towards that Amagi there. So let's send them that way. There's the Kagero. Okay, that's where my torpedo planes are going. And meanwhile, we're dropping some bombs on the King George. As usual, the bombs aren't doing an awful lot. But like I said, this is not about the planes. This carrier is not about the planes at all, which makes it a good carrier in my opinion. Oh, Mr. Kagero, it looks like you have run into an island. I know, these are inconvenient, aren't they? I might have some torpedoes for you, so let's drop these there. And there comes some more. Oh, we shot a plane down with the fighters. Nice, haha. That's 2 torpedoes. 2 torpedoes only. Why only 2? I haven't been paying attention. Anyway, shot another plane down. And now I think our fighters are going to get baited again. I can't be asked to deal with them right now. I need to get into the capture circle because we are only holding one cap and we're one kill down. So and there's a pretty much full health Vanguard over there still, and there's still the King George. So that Vittorio Veneto, was that a Vittorio Veneto? Whatever that was in our the thing in B Cup probably needs some air protection because at some point they're gonna get tired of dropping me and start dropping him, and then he's dead. And I still got the King George sitting around there and that Kagero. So full speed ahead. Well, at least until we're in the capture circle. Still have to be careful with the King George, but let's drop the Kagero. Yeah, let's drop the Kagero and see if we can get this plane. Oh, there comes some more dive bombers over there. My fighters got shot down again, so I only have one fighter wing left, but that's fine. Okay, that one fighter wing, go out there, and yay, nice drop on the Kagero, if I say so myself. But he survived. That Kagero is my biggest problem here, because that's a lot of torpedoes coming my way. But that Vittorio Veneto is going to be in trouble if I'm not helping, so off we go. And, okay, that Kagero needs to die. Okay, dive bombers, kill that thing. Yay, the Jervis takes out King George. Nicely done. Okay, now I can push in here. And about time, because we're still only holding one capture circle, and that Kagero is healing up. I just need to dodge his torpedoes, and this guy, there's still a full health Vanguard, almost full health back there. Not anymore, he doesn't. Let's drop some torpedoes on it, maybe? Because the dive bombers can kill the Kagero, right? 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 Right, dive bombers? Okay, we're getting dropped again by the carrier. But look at this. just look at it, right? Just look at it. Plonk, plonk. Say goodbye to those planes, Mr. Enterprise. You're not getting those back. Okay, there's a couple of good hits on the Vanguard. That means he needs the Damacon, which means the Swedish destroyer was around there somewhere. Was it a Swede? I'm not sure. Anyway, that Kagero is still alive. Can't be having with that because I need to push that. I need to push over there. That carrier is annoying. He's killed all my fighters, and that Kagero needs to die. Yes, we got him. Nice, 2 good bomb hits. Okay. You know what, Mr. Enterprise? You want to do this? You want to play? You want to play, right? Alright, let's play. Alright, full steam ahead, triple fire, don't care, heal that off, and just look at the amount of planes that I'm shooting down. And you know what we're going to do now, right? We're going to put this thing full steam ahead, and we're going to... You didn't think I was going to come, right? You thought you had me. I don't have any more fighters, you know. But my dive bombers with armor piercing are going to do an awful lot of damage. I mean, I'm going to have to get broadside there, so I don't care. Come on, let's do this. No flood, please. No flood. Okay, no flood. Hit Citadel against the Enterprise, and now we're in secondary range. Woohoo! Let's go. Double fire, don't care. Now you're running. Too late, my friend, too late. You might have fighters up there, but those torpedoes are going to hit, my friend. And if they don't, my secondaries are going to finish you off. And I can't sit around here broadsiding with 2 battleships because there was a Vanguard on the other side as well. But that Enterprise is not going to have a good time. Yeah, you thought you had me, right? I don't need no fighters. I have AA. I've got all the AA, so... and I've got auto secondaries, so I don't even need to manage those. I can just manage my ship and my planes, and that's another Citadel. And the auto secondaries can kill him from there. Okay, that's a flood, but I've got a Damacon ready. Now I am coming under fire, I think, from the south, so I'm gonna have to back out here, unfortunately. Yeah, auto secondaries. Good night, Mr. Enterprise. See ya later. Alright, now I do have the Vanguard shooting at me from the south, so I do need to back off. Okay, that's permafire from somewhere. We need to kill that Vanguard. Actually, I think someone else is going to kill the Vanguard, so let's see if we can kill the Isa. I think we've lost this, because we are at 200 points. Yeah, we're over 200 points behind. And I'm on relatively low hit points, so I just can't sit still here. So let's see if we can still kill something. Maybe we can get the Isa if we get lucky with a... with a Citadel or something, with the dive bombers, maybe, you never know. Let's get some torpedoes onto that thing. But even if we kill the Isa, it's not going to be enough, because we're 100 points behind, and we still might manage to get the big caliber. But it's just not going to be enough, because we haven't managed to hold all the Bismarck. Even if the Bismarck was dying, it still wouldn't have been enough to win us the game. We would have had to kill both of them. So that was a defeat, but you know what? It doesn't matter. And you know what? I enjoyed myself. as you can probably tell. You know, this is a ship that is perfect. It's a bit crap, but so am I when it comes to aircraft carriers. And at the end of the day, you know, if you're not very good at controlling your fighters, you don't have to. Just park the ship somewhere where you want to land the air defense. And you're gonna shoot down 50 planes. And if the enemy carrier gets uppity and it annoys you, then you get your dive bombers out and citadel the crap out of that thing. And if that's not enough, you get into 7 kilometers and let the auto secondaries finish them off. And that's how you do it. So, is this a great carrier? Nah, it isn't. I mean, not really. It doesn't feel like. But for me, it's perfect. You don't have 5 wings to control. You only have 3 wings to control, and 2 of them are auto-targeting. The dive bombers are useless against destroyers. The torpedo bombers are good. The fighters are, well, yeah, no, they're fighters. They're cannon fodder. But the AA is great. The armor is decent. The ship's fast. It's maneuverable. And it's got, even though they're just auto-secondaries, but they shred. So there you go. If you've never been confident of playing carriers at tier 8 and you don't happen to have an Indomitable around, or you just feel that in playing Indomitable is just plain up cheating, that thing's fun. So this is the first carrier, or like higher tier carrier, that I actually enjoy, I have to say. So there we are. There you have it. That is the August von Parseval, the tier 8 German tech tree carrier coming up in the near future. And that's it from me today. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.